Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is the 4th dose of your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And you can follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Don't forget about the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page, and you can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. Hello, Capricorners. Boy Broadway SD. Oyela. All right. UK all day. Said I'm here for the H0eSplaining. Okay. Let it begin, beloved. All right. Hello, the agitator. Nessie X, Lee, Tracy, Cherie. Aeon is black in the house. Silent D, I see you. All right. Shout out to my moderators. They stay on their job. All right. Sergeant King, True Justice, Terry Hinton, Stacy. Let's get into it. Hello, Otis. Queen said AJ trying to back up her story. Oh, yeah, she is, honey. Oh, she is. Beat Zilla's in the house. Big Chief. I'm not going to say the last name. All right. Mr. X, Judah Queen. Let's get into it, beloveds. Now, listen. You know, when I first heard this story, I wasn't going to talk about it. First of all, because I thought it was a little ratchet. That's not why I wasn't going to talk about it. But clearly, you know, it just wasn't really that big of a deal. But now that AJ has come back with the H0eSplaining, as I call it, you know, trying to backpedal, talking about she didn't say anything about she had sex. Honey, you didn't have to say literally verbatim that you had sex, but you clearly said you had a whole threesome. Now, I'm sorry, but we all know what a threesome is. That's absolutely sex. So what is she talking about now? Hold on, matter of fact, let's listen. Let's roll it back and listen to what she said last time on February the 2nd, and then let's play what she said this morning when she came back on Angela Yee's show. All right, let's let the music or let the audio roll. Now, yes, H0eSplaining, that's right. Tupac Biggie said AJ is the queen of old age thoughts. Well, if that's what she was seeking to gain and garner attention for, she succeeded. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play this audio. Lights up, everyone.
Like threesomes when it's 2 women and a man. But do you think we'll ever come to a place in society where it'll be like a threesome is 2 men and a woman, and they'll be okay with that?
No. What is that?
I mean, but some men, they do it, but again, it's just, to them, is a train. It's not a threesome.
But even for women, a lot of women will never do that.
Yeah, when they ask me, they're like, would you do a threesome? I'm like, yeah, bring it. Let me pick the guy. They're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I get so mad.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Let me pick the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And
2 men?
2 men.
Mm-hmm.
And they traded off. It was like they were friends, and they traded off. The best 50th birthday ever.
Now, let's stop right there and unravel and unpack what she said. She said, I've only done that. It was a threesome. When asked, she said, yes. She said it was 2 men. They traded off. They were friends. Okay, now let's continue.
Okay. And they traded off. So it was never like them together.
Okay.
It was like they were flip-flopping me. You know, one would please me, then he'd pass me to the other. And one would kiss me, and then he'd spin me around for the other.
So she said that one would do her, please her, and then would pass her to the other one. So she's a pass-around hoe. Is that what you're saying? Yes. Now, with that all being said, like someone in the chat said, you whole tales can't be untold. All right. See, it's a little too late to have buyer's remorse, AJ. All right. Or shall we say, in this case, seller's remorse. At the end of the day, she said what she said. Like, own it. Don't try to act like you didn't really say that now. Like, that's not really what you were talking about. What were you talking about when you said threesome? Now, here's the thing. Angela Yee initiated the conversation and asked a simple question. She then voluntarily said that she has only done that. And when asked was it with 2 men, she said yes. Now, I want you to pay attention to how people try to lie and play with semantics, because that's all she's trying to do. She's trying to play with semantics because she sat there and she heard the beginning of the conversation when the other young lady said, men call it a train. Okay, so when they're talking about threesomes and trains, we all know that that's sex with multiple people, usually 3 or more. So please miss us with it, but let's continue.
It was like a beautiful dance. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It was like doing salsa with 2 guys at the same time. Just like romantic and sexy.
Nice.
And never intertwined, but at the same time it was 2.
So they were friends with each other.
They were friends.
Okay.
And I knew they were friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all about that Cocoa Patron.
Shit.
That coffee Patron.
That
cafe Patron.
I had some wild nights on
Yes,
that
that
myself.
cafe Patron.
So wait, so the next day, how did they act to each other, or like afterward? Did they ever acknowledge it, or was it just a one thing and nobody ever discussed it?
No, we all went to breakfast, and it was like 3 friends that hung out and had a good time. It was weird because it's not like I was into that, and I had never done it before.
It's the birthday present.
But it was happy birthday to me, and it was like, okay.
I'd never done that before.
This is happening.
Hold on. She said, let's unpack this. She said, I'd never done that before. So it was like, happy birthday to me. What else was she talking about? AJ, please stop it. Please stop with the whole explaining.
I was like, this is actually happening. It's happening.
Really big.
Just wanted me to swim. I was like, oh my God, this is happening. And then I just kind of relaxed and let it happen. And the next morning, we were like the 3 Musketeers.
It's very
Okay, so y'all heard that. She clearly was talking about sex. She clearly was talking about that. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to play what she said on today when she was on the show, which is in contrast to what she said previously. But here's my thing. You know, if she wants to have all the threesomes in the world, that's her prerogative. And, you know, I really don't care. You see, the only thing I have a problem with is the fact that she felt it necessary to share that what should have been private and make it public. And now that it's been made public, now you mad. Now you want to act like everybody's wrong for judging you. Well, let me tell you something, AJ Johnson. And the rest of the thoughts out here that spread their business all over the streets. And then you want to get mad when somebody calls you on your own BS. Let me tell you something, honey. If you're going to do something that you're embarrassed about, then maybe you should think twice before you do it. Or if you've done something and you know that if other people find out, they may try to clown you, then keep it to yourself. Now, I don't know how she didn't know that that would be something that people would be judgmental about. That's just how the world is. We all judge things, right? We all judge things. The Bible says, judge lest ye be judged, but it also says judge righteously. So I'm going to judge her righteously on this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to judge her righteously. And with that all being said, here's the thing. You know, some people try to condone their hoism by acting like, oh, it's a double standard. If men do it, they don't talk about the men. But if a woman does it, they want to talk about us. Well, they should talk about you. Well, they should. Your mother and your grandmother didn't tell you that women are supposed to be virtuous and be very selective about whom they lay with. And in fact, you should not be sleeping around with any and everybody. They didn't tell you that. So I'm sorry. Yes, women are not supposed to be held to the same standard as men. There is supposed to be a double standard. You see, that's why they're men and we're women at the end of the day. And I get sick and tired of these feminists talking about, oh, women are supposed to be equal to men. You could never be equal to a man. That's what you're not going to ever be. You never could, never would. It's just not possible. Okay, the Most High didn't intend for it to be that way. The Most High did not intend for it to be that way. That's why men are genetically taller and stronger, right, than we are. That's why they have something called testosterone, more so, right? Even though, you know, there are some women who have an extra amount of testosterone, but they're still not like men. Okay? At the end of the day, she should have thought about the reaction and the consequences before she said what she said. Now she's all mad and bent out of shape and butthurt. But here's another thing too. This is what I also didn't like. Now, you know, I often talk about how they sexually objectify Black women. And they always have throughout history. And they try to present Black women as being provocative, promiscuous, you know, overly sexual. They do the same thing with Black men. They act as though they're some sexual brutes and things like that, when we know who has a history of these nefarious things. But at the end of the day, they always try to make Black women seem, you know, so sexual, so promiscuous. And so when she said what she said, it bothered me because you're just feeding into that narrative. Okay, you're just feeding into that narrative. And at the end of the day, you know, what about the young girls who look up to her? Now, it's bad enough we have people like Cardi B and Meg the Stallion out here fighting it all over the internet streets, right? And then you have these young girls trying to emulate them rather than carry themselves with class and dignity. But at the end of the day, you have someone at her age come out and acting like that's okay. Like, oh, this is something to be proud of. Well, if you want to do that, you can keep that to yourself. That is nothing that everyone needs to know. And I don't know why some people just love to put their sexual business out there in the streets. Okay? I just don't get it. It's called private parts, right? For a reason, because you keep what goes on with those parts private. I'm just saying. And it's called intimacy because that should be intimate. The details of it should be between you and whomever you were doing those things with. It's not for public consumption. But if you do, however, decide to broadcast your private and intimate business to the public, then do not get mad when we have something to say about it. I mean, don't get upset if I'm talking about your business, AJ Johnson, when it was you who put your business in the streets. That's all I'm saying. Now let's listen to what she had to say today as she tried to walk back what she already told. All right. Otis says Silent D Productions, it could be worse, like LeBron James remaking House Party. Martina said, right, she's too old for that. Keep it in the bedroom. I mean, yes. Well, let's listen to it, beloveds. Likes up, please like and share.
What's up? It's Lip Service. I'm Angela Yee. I'm Gigi McGuire.
I'm Stephanie Santiago.
I'm A.
Feel about the openness of the conversation.
Hold on, beloveds.
Judgment.
Were you?
A lot of.
We're going to talk about the threesome with the two men.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to come back and really like address that right away, amongst other things. Because by the way, you look amazing. Just got back from St. Thomas.
Did you guys see my tan?
Yes.
Everybody's like, I don't like tan lines. I'm like, well,
I love tan lines.
I have tan lines. How do you know you're tan without tan lines?
Yeah.
The St. Thomas
And guys love
self-love
it too.
retreat. Yes, they do. The self-love retreat, off the chain. Got to get y'all with me.
Yeah,
I know this time everybody was crazy, but you got to come. I mean, the peace and just like, you know, swimming with the fish and praying at sunset and silent meditations on a yacht cruising. I mean, you know,
nice.
I pulled out all the stops for the group and it was amazing.
How dare we be at work?
Right. How dare we at job?
And it's the cold too, right?
Right,
In New York, yeah.
Well, since you said you got to come, let's get right into it.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
But I'm pumped.
That's my girl.
She said C-O-M-E, you hear C-U-M.
That's what I heard.
I know.
Now, listen, so a lot of people had things to say and weigh in on you, you know, and like you said, you never said you had intercourse with these two men, but even if you did, so what? But you said that's not what you said. It was a dance. And people had a lot of things to say about it. They were saying it was a train. And remember, I was saying for some reason, when a woman is with two men, they call it a train. Mm-hmm. But when a man is with two...
Now, I want y'all to pay attention right here. Angela Yee said just now, you all heard her, right? She said, people had a lot to say. She said, but you never said anything about sex. You said it was a dance. She didn't say it was no damn dance. She said it was like a salsa dance with three people. That's what she said. I just played the first footage or the first audio. Isn't that what she said? It was like having a salsa dance or something like that with three people. So miss me with it. Don't try to act like you were dancing, honey. Oh, yeah, she was dancing. Dancing in the sheets, no less. But let's continue.
Women, it's a threesome.
Right. So, okay, so can I ask a question? Mm-hmm. Because we didn't know it was going to happen like that. So we really didn't even talk about those details.
No.
So I kind of want to know, as my girls, what you think. Like, how do you feel about, okay, let me just say this. I was very, very surprised that there was so much judgment.
Mm. Were you really? Were you
I was. No, I was. Because here's the thing. But, you know, I was, well, yeah, you're used to it, of course. No, I was because I feel like nowadays we should be so free with expressing who we are and how we are. Mm-hmm. But I was really, really shocked that there would be so much judgment, primarily from men, which I also think leads to another thing we're going to talk about, which is the why.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why
And I want to change where we're going.
Why I'm not surprised is because we get a lot of judgment on this podcast.
Absolutely.
Period, just for even talking about sex, which is why I did it, right?
I love that.
The reason why I did this podcast was because I feel like it's so taboo, in particular for Black women and women of color, to be talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
People hate that. Guys will be like, you guys are hoes, no matter what it is that you're talking about. Women will be like, y'all are disgusting. Why are you discussing this? There's bigger things happening in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
I've struggled in my relationships because of some of the things that we talk about on this podcast.
but
Really?
I have never understood why it's so taboo to have these conversations. That, by the way, on the flip side, a lot of people said they've learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have said it's educational. A lot of people have said now.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Here's the thing. Angie D said no intercourse, so why did she say they were passing her around and taking turns pleasing her? So they only used toys or their finger? Exactly. Now she's trying to act like she was dancing, honey. I mean, I guess we're all stupid and we just clearly misinterpreted what she was saying, right? Please miss us with an AJ Johnson, okay? Like they said, the question was about threesomes. She said, I've only had that with two men. She knows what she was talking about. So, like I said, honey, what I think she's surprised at, this is just my thinking. I believe that when she said that, she thought it was going to make her look cool and hip. That at the age of 50, she had a whole threesome with two friends. I think that she was trying to clout chase when she said that. That she thought people were going to be looking at her like, oh, wait a minute, did y'all hear that? And furthermore, let's not forget that she posed nude when she was like 53 in 2016. She posed nude, and she was doing so to show off her body and all of that or whatever. And she basically was talking about, to show that she's not afraid to show her flaws. I think that was her trying to be a thought pocket even back then. So with this all being said, what gets me is this. When people want to be a thought or a hoe, just be that. But don't try to make the rest of us feel bad because we call you on it. Do you all remember when Amber Rose had the slut walk? And she talked about people slut shaming. Well, I find that to be an oxymoron, because how could you slut shame a slut? Because the key point in the fact is this: a slut has no shame. That's how they're able to be sluts, because they have no shame. So Amber Rose talking about people are slut shaming her. Honey, nobody slut shamed you because you had no shame in the first place to begin with. I'm just saying. And it's just always amazing when some of these people go out here, with their butts all out, breasts all out, doing all this provocative stuff and being clearly promiscuous and whoring themselves out, on OnlyFans and all the other stuff. And if you are not doing any of these things, then I'm not talking to you. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Those who get offended are the ones who are doing it, clearly. So my whole thing is, if you are doing these things, own it, right? If you're going to be a hoe, honey, be the best hoe you can be and have no shame in your game, and don't sit there and try to backpedal because someone says something about it. You shouldn't care what people say, right? I'm just saying, make it all make sense. And then the thing is also, it's very interesting how people do things, but they don't want to be judged by it. They don't want to be judged by it, so they come up with these little sayings. Oh, you're shaming me. You're doing this, you're doing that. Honey, at the end of the day, when you do certain things, people are going to talk about it. That's just the way it is. It's just a fact of life. Okay? People are going to judge all of us for one thing or another. And if you blatantly told your intimate details of what you were doing in your bedroom, you then can't turn around and get upset, right? That people are passing judgment, because that's just what people do. Okay? That's just what people do. And I believe she has grown children. I just wonder what they have to say about this. She said that she was shocked at the judgment. I don't know why she's shocked. She should clearly have known that some people were going to be judgmental about this, and especially men. And that's the funny thing. Angela Yee was saying especially men. Well, of course, it's especially men that are being judgmental about it and being critical, because men are the ones who came up with those terms, sluts, thoughts, and all of that. Men came up with that stuff. So absolutely, men are going to be the main ones saying it, because it's also men who deemed that women are supposed to be virtuous. That women should not be out here whoring around and sleep with all these different Tom, Dicks, and Harrys. Pun intended. I'm just saying. So at the end of the day, they act like they're shocked that so many men were critical of it. Did she think men would be happy and thrilled and jumping in her DMs, trying to get them a threesome with her? Maybe that's what she thought. Maybe that's what she thought. You see, women like her, they just give men like Kevin Samuels more ammunition to use against Black women. Okay? Now, I'm sure there's Becky, Kates, and Karens who do the same thing that she's talking about. Of course there are. But the fact is that she voiced it publicly and told all of her information and business. Another thing I want you to pay attention to is this is how you know they had sex, okay? We already know because it was a threesome. But here's how you absolutely know if you had any doubts of believing her retraction that she's trying to do. Here's how you know they had sex. Pay attention. When she was telling the story, she didn't want to make them seem like they may have been a little suspect because there was two men, right? And some people think that's a little strange when it's two men, in the same room doing this and that and the third or whatever. So she wanted to make sure she didn't give anyone that impression. In my opinion, that's why she was careful to say it was never the two of them together. Didn't she say that? She said it was never the two of them together. One would please me, and then they would pass me to the other one to have them please me. So she was basically letting us know that they both weren't pleasing her at the same time. They were taking turns and passing her around. That's why she said all of that. All right, pay attention. So what else was she talking about again, AJ Johnson? I'm so sorry, but she needs to miss me with it. I would like to interview her so I can give her my take on it and hear what she has to say, because you can't H0eSplain your way out with the queen, honey, okay? Because my interrogation game is on points. So all I'm saying, if you got a train ran on it, say you got a train ran on you. I mean, what's the problem, right? You were so proud February the 2nd when you told the story. Now you're sitting there trying to walk it back because you don't like being judged. Well, if you don't want to be judged, then keep your business to yourself for future references. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Street Nasty Entertainment says AJ still looks great, though. Yes, she absolutely does, honey. Of course she looks great. We all know black don't crack. All right? We all know that. Boy Broadway said that's BS. They passed her like a cold 40 ounce, taking long, deep sips. Oh my goodness, I cannot. Okay, I absolutely cannot. Now I'm gonna have to give you the title for the day, okay? Nefarious Bueller. All right, that's what I'm gonna have to do. She was tag teamed by those dudes, like they were a WrestleMania 69. They were at WrestleMania 69. You all are so awful. Ladybug says, don't backpedal and pee popping on your own words. Exactly. Big Chief says she was hollering out switch. Boy Broadway says Nefarious Bueller. Yes, you all remember that movie. Right? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's what I'm referencing, okay? That's what I'm referencing. She's Nefarious Bueller. That's what I called her earlier. All right? And some of y'all are Nefarious Buellers too, honey, because y'all just be doing the most in this chat. Just so you know. Hey, y'all said I'm crying over here. Princess April said, not Nefarious Bueller. Yes, honey. Yes. That's it. Byron B said she wasn't acting in Baby Boy. Exactly, right? Exactly. She was really getting it in the whole time, right? Y'all are too much. Anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure you follow the Queen on Instagram at QueenAhmadiyyah, and make sure you follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah fan page. You can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Aboriginal woman says, but you love us though, Queen. Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Nefarious though you all are. So anyway, Okay, with that all being said, boy Broadway said, thank you, Queen. You're welcome, beloved. Okay, until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.